gravity initially from the west. It can only change its form to kinetic energy to change to any form of kinetic energy. It can change in any form of energy equal to potential energy, heat energy, etc. पता है तुम खुजली कर रही है ना, इसीलिए और आँख लाल हो रहा है.
तो लग रहा कुछ गड़ रहा है.
देखो तो कितना व्यूज हुआ मेरे फोन में ना.
अभी नहीं देख.
एक बार देखो ना वीडियो वो करके. Conversion of potential energy into kinetic energy. A potential energy changes into kinetic energy when it is put to use. A potential energy changes into kinetic energy when it is put to use. In absence of friction, the sum of potential energy and remains constant at each instant. In absence of friction, the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy remains constant. In the absence of friction, the sum of potential energy and the kinetic energy remains constant. And remains constant at each instant. And whether this is called the law of conservation of mechanical energy. This is called the law of conservation of mechanical energy. What is law of conservation of mechanical energy? The potential energy changes to kinetic energy when it is put to work. It is put to work. Put to. In the absence of friction, क्या होता है? The absence of friction, the sum of potential energy and the kinetic energy is constant. Is constant at each instant. So rather, this is called the law of conservation of mechanical energy. Time कितना बस सुनते थे?
7:45.
7:45 हो गया. A stone at a height has the potential energy due to its vector or respiration. When the stone is dropped from that position and begins to fall, the falling stone has the kinetic energy. The potential energy stored in the stone in its raised position changes into kinetic energy when stone is falling. Kinetic energy does not work on the nail as the stone strikes and makes the nail move into the wood. The potential energy possessed by the body where the stone, the height changes into kinetic energy when it falls. The kinetic energy of the falling stone does work in raising the weight of earth. A wound of what spring has the potential energy because of its wound up state. After the spring unwinds itself, the potential energy changes into kinetic energy. This kinetic energy does work in moving the arms of the body. A stretched bow has potential energy because of its stretched position. When the stretched bow is released, the potential energy of the bow changes into kinetic energy. This kinetic energy does work on the arrow makes the arrow to move. Compressed spring. A compressed spring has the potential energy in it due to its compressed state. When the compressed spring is released, the potential energy changes into its kinetic energy, which does work on the ball placed on it and make the ball fly away. Bowling ball. Consider a ball placed at a height. It will have a potential energy and no kinetic energy. ठीक है? If the ball is released from the height, it falls down and the vertical height of the ball from the ground decreases. Therefore, the potential energy decreases and it changes to kinetic energy, due to which the speed of the ball increases. During the fall, the ball has both the potential energy and the kinetic energy. As the ball reaches the ground, the potential energy becomes zero and it changes entirely into kinetic energy. Show the conversion of potential energy into kinetic energy during the vertical fall of a ball at the various positions ABC. मेरे इरेजर कैंडी अपना बम में रख लिए थे छुपा. मास एन ठीक है. हाइट एक हाइट एच बाई टू एच बाई टू एच. आंसर पे potential energy is equals to 1. Sorry, E. Height is equals to max. Kinetic energy is equals to 0. Velocity is equals to 0. Total energy is equals to क्या होगा total energy? PE plus KE is potential energy is equals to h by 2 क्योंकि तो a by 2 a by 2. Kinetic energy is equals to a by 2 because 2 to e by Usho, why, Usho. इधर height is minimum. ये बॉल का तो ना For production of hydroelectricity, the water collected in a dam at a height has potential energy stored in it. When it is made to fall on a turbine, potential energy changes to kinetic energy, which is transferred to the turbine to rotate. By connecting the turbine to the armature, the dynamo electricity is produced, called hydroelectricity. Swinging pendulum shows a pendulum suspended from a rigid support to zero. Its resisting point is at zero at A. When the bob of the pendulum is slightly moved from A to B, its height increases. So at the bob has potential energy stored in it. ठीक है. On releasing the bob at B, it comes back to A, during which the potential energy changes into kinetic. On reaching at A, whole of the potential energy changes into kinetic energy. And due to this kinetic energy, the bob has the maximum speed with which it moves to the other side up to C. At the same vertical height h, in motion A to C, kinetic energy changes into potential, and at C its speed becomes 0, so it again returns to A. This motion continues. Not air friction due to air has been neglected. ऐसा है, ये एक ऐसा बॉल है, पेंडुलम है, जो कि बिल्कुल बॉल जैसा रहा है. फिर कहाँ गए हैं दीदी, कर जाएंगे. सही ही बोली थी मम्मी, मार देगी. अभी फ़ोन कर देंगे मम्मी को तो बहुत ख़राब हो जाएगा, ऐसा नहीं करें. ए बी सी, इधर पे पोटेंशियल एनर्जी, इधर पे ना पहले देखेंगे. पोटेंशियल एनर्जी इधर पे है ई, क्योंकि इट इज़ मैक्सिमम, बिकॉज हाइट इज मैक्सिमम. ये देखो ना, इसको कहाँ कहाँ होता है. to 0 because velocity is 0. T is equal to P2 and E plus K. इधर पे स्पीड से आ रहा है, यहाँ पे पोटेंशियल एनर्जी है 0 because height is 0. Kinetic energy is E because the velocity is maximum, right? At the E is इधर पे पोटेंशियल एनर्जी E max, kinetic energy is 0. Velocity is 0. That was the stroke है ना, फिर चलो हाँ. Roller coaster, and the car on the roller coaster at position A has only potential energy, kinetic energy. As the car comes to the position B, whole of the potential energy changes into kinetic energy. So at B it has only the kinetic energy. Only potential energy. Due to the kinetic energy, the car rises to the position C. During the series, the kinetic energy changes into potential energy. C it has the potential energy. Potential energy and kinetic energy. So the total sum of the kinetic and the potential energy is given. Note that the vertical height of the top is less than 8. यहाँ पे 1, 2, 3. Okay. 2, 3. Mass and height is maximum, right? Exactly, not maximum but not minimum also. यहाँ पे potential energy is E क्योंकि height is equals to max. K is equals to 0 because velocity is 0. So T is equals to 0 plus Ke is equals to A. कहाँ गई थी? हाँ, हम लोग सोच रहे कि फिर चल गए हम लोग डर में।
जलेबी
मम्मी डांटेगी।
पापा को बता के गए थे तो है ना, जलेबी बहुत गर्म गर्म है।
वो 1 रुपये वाला।
हाँ 40 रुपए का एक पाव।
पाव कितना होता है? 25 ग्राम। एक पाव 50 ग्राम होगा कि 25 ग्राम से? 250 ग्राम। पगली है काका बोलते। It is E because velocity is equal to max. तो E is equal to इधर पे PE जो था वो मैक्स नहीं, इससे कम है, तो हम लोग लेंगे E1. ठीक है, E1 and KE is also total energy different forms of energy. Apart from mechanical energy, we have other forms of energy as well. Solar energy, heat energy, light energy, sound energy, electrical energy, energy as well. One form of energy can be converted into other useful forms of energy. Like a function in daily life. Mechanical energy to chemical electrical energy. The water stored in the reservoir of the dam has the potential energy. When water falls, its potential energy decreases in kinetic energy. If the falling water made it to rotate when near the bottom of the dam, the kinetic energy of water transferred to the form of rotational kinetic energy. It rotates. The turbine rotates the armature of the connected to it, and thus the kinetic energy is transformed into the electrical energy by the generator. Mechanical energy, dynamo, mechanical energy to electrical energy, motor, electrical energy. Iron, electrical to heat, thermo, heat to electrical. Loudspeaker, electrical to sound, microphone, sound to electrical. Chemical, chemical to light, light, photosynthesis, light to chemical energy. The electrical energy, sorry, light to electrical bulb, light, electrical energy to light energy, photocell, light energy to electrical energy. Thus, an electric generator or a dynamo converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. Electrical energy to mechanical energy. Electric motor, when a electric current is passed to a coil-free suspended whenever in a magnetic field, a torque acts on a coil due to which it rotates. The shaft attached to the coil also. Whenever a mechanical energy changes to another, it is always in the form of kinetic energy and not in the form of mechanical energy. That is the stored potential. First changes to kinetic energy and then kinetic energy changes to electric energy. While transformation of the energy from one form to the desired form, the entire energy does not change into the entire energy does not change into the desired form, but a part of it changes either to some desired form, usually heat due to friction, or a part it is lost with the surrounding due to the heating or dissolve. This conservation of energy or to the undesirable form is called dissipation of energy. The conversion of energy to the undesirable form is called dissipation of energy. Since this part of energy is not available to us for any productive use, so we call this energy as the degraded form of energy. Which form of energy is the degraded form of energy? The dissipation, the part of energy which is the dissipation of energy, the part of dissipation of energy which is not useful to us, is not available to us, and we call it a degraded form of energy. The power of a body is defined as the rate of doing work by the body. The power of the body is defined the rate of doing work by the body. If a body performs a work W in time h, the power spent by the body is done by the body by time taken. The symbol P is also used to represent pressure, but pressure and power are different quantities. Symbol P is also used to represent pa- so used to represent pressure, but power and pressure are complete different quantity. Different person may take different time to do the same way. Power, power and energy are related to each other. If a source of power P is used for a time T, the power spent on work done is to T. Power and work are related to each other. If a source of power P is used for time L, time T, the energy spent on the work is power is equals to the work is equals to power is equal to the L into P. P into L and L into P is P into T. ठीक है? Thus, when a body does not work or spends energy, we often come across the term power. Though when a body does not work or spend energy, if a body does not work and spends energy, all electrical appliances are rated with their power. When an appliance is in use, the electrical energy spent is given by the
मीठा खाता है दांत का किनारे लगता है।
उतना मीठा नहीं है।
हमको नहीं पसंद, हमको नहीं खाने फिर भी।
The electrical energy spent is given by the product and time for which it has been used. We pay the cost for this thing. हाँ
का
पगड़ी दीदी रखी थी। आयरन मारते हैं। Power 1.5 board. You have to lift water in the overhead tank for 2 hours. The electrical energy spent is power into 2, so 3. For which the cost is paid to the electrically board, and we say that the power spent by the pump is small. If we say flying word lead is flown, we mean to say that flowing lead it consumes 9 joule of energy per second. Power, the SI unit of power work is joule. The SI unit of time is second. So SI unit of power is joule per second. J S by 1 second. If the unit joule per second has been named as what? The unit joule per second is named as what? After the name of the scientist James Watt. वॉट लिखा है जेम्स वॉट के नाम पे, और वो क्या लिखा था, कौन सा लिखा जूल रखा है जेम्स पर स्कॉट जूल, जेम्स पर स्कॉट जूल और जेम्स वॉट. 1 joule per second is 1 watt. The bigger units of power are kilowatt and megawatt, 1000 watt and megawatt and 6 watt. What are the power factors affecting the source power of a source? Time सुन दीदी.
8 10
power spent by a source depends upon two factors. Amount of work done by the source.
तुम लोग का ये सब है, मेरा तो उतना ज़्यादा नहीं है नीचे वाला ना।
क्या?
ये बाल, ये वाला
आई लैशेस बोलते हैं उसको।
हाँ वही है, मेरा में ज़्यादा नहीं।
तुम अंधी हो, तुम घोड़ा भी नहीं हो। घोड़ा को तो आई लैशेस बहुत सारे। सोनी दीदी अंधी है। मेरा वीडियो क्यों बना रही हो? वीडियो बना रही है, उन्हें गेम खेल रही है।
इतना करके एक ही लाइक आया है बस, पसंद नहीं करते उनका।
व्यूज
तो 4 व 5 वो आ रहा है।
Power spent by the source depends on two factors. The amount of work done by the source, amount of work done by the source, the time taken by the source to do the work. The time taken by the source to do the said work. The time taken by the time spent by the source to spent work. A machine does a given amount of work at faster rate, that is in less time more power is spent by it. It's the difference between power and work. Work done by a force is equal to the product of force and things moved in the direction of force. Work done by a force is equal to the.
लोग सोचे भाई यहाँ पढ़ रहे हैं, ये गेम खेल रहे हैं, पागल है।
माई कौन है? वर्क डन बाय अ वर्क।
हर ज़्यादा से बोलेगी।
गजब हाल है, अपने कान में लगा ली हो और बोल के जोर जोर से बोल रहे हैं, हम वही स्पीड में बोल रहे हैं। वर्क डन बाय अ फोर्स इज इक्वल टू द force applied and the is equal to the product of force applied and the distance and the displacement caused in the direction of force and distance moved in the direction of force. Power of a source is the rate of doing work. Power of a source is the rate of doing. Power of a source is the rate of doing work by it. Power of a source is the rate of doing work by it. समझी सुनी? Power of a source is the rate of doing work by it. That is work done in 1 second. Power of a source.
आधा घंटा हो गया लेकिन एक लाइक है बस, कंजूस लोग नहीं कर।
क्या?
आधा घंटा हो गया।
क्या कहीं का बोली?
कंजूस।
हमको जुस्टो कहीं का सुना, क्या होता है? Power of one source is power of a source is the power of the source is the rate of doing work. The rate of doing work. देखो पावर क्या है? पावर सोर्स का पावर क्या है? Rate of doing work. Power of the source is the rate of doing work. That is work done in 1 second. Work done does not depend on time. Work done does not depend on time. Work done does not depend on time. Work spent depends on the time in which work is done. Work spent depends on the time in which work is done. होगा मन नहीं कर रहा इतना मीठा खा के, मेरा मुंह जी उठ गया।
कैसे लगा दो?
Depends on the
इसीलिए हमने खाते मीठा।
work spent For power spent depends upon the time of the work done. The work is done. Which work is done? Power spent depends upon the time in which work is done. Unit of power work is joule. So unit of work is watt. Listen. What is the difference between power and work? लिख लेते हैं जैसे हम पक्का पूछा कुछ भूले चाहे नहीं बोलते सिर्फ वही बोलते हैं डिफरेंस बिटवीन क्या दुश्मनी डिफरेंस बिटवीन डिफरेंस बिटवीन work power work is equal to the work is equal and work done is equal to work done by force is equal to the product work done by a force is equal to the product of and product of force applied is equal to the product of force applied and the
चलना है तो डरे नहीं चलता भाई
work done by a force is equal to the product of a force applied and the displacement cost the displacement cost in the direction of force. पावर क्या है पावर ऑफ अ सोर्स क्या है पावर ऑफ अ सोर्स इज व्हाट रेट ऑफ डूइंग इज द रेट ऑफ डूइंग वर्क हाँ हाँ
इसको अपना चार्जर से चार्ज में लगा देना
इधर केबल लगा है is the rate of doing work. Work does not depend on time. Work does not depends on. कितना बज गया? डर गए.
तेरी के आँख भी सो रहा है लो
Not depends on time. हमको कोई बताता है तो कोई मन में दहशत बैठ जाता है इसलिए हम पूछते हैं
तुम अभी मार खाने वाली
क्यों
एकदम बेवकूफ पे है
क्या पावर डिपेंड्स कैसे देख रही है हंसी आ रहा है तुम्हारा रिएक्शन में पावर स्पेंट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द टाइम in which work is done. Power spent
बाप रे कितनी तला है इतना देर लग रहा
power spent depends upon the time in which work is done. That is work done in 1 second.
फाइनली बन गया, सुंदर दिख रहा है।
एक तो बना लेना, अब हटाओ, बंद कर दो, देखो कितना हुआ। लाइक